Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jimmy Faluca, and I'm a very happy wrestling fan right now. And I'm with Frank. Frank, how's it going, buddy?
I'm doing great, James.
Let me tell you call me Joe because we all got Joe on the mind. Ladies and gentlemen, the music you just heard was not the entrance music of Godzilla. That was the entrance music of one Samoa Joe, who debuted tonight on NXT TakeOver Unstoppable, which you can quote me as of this moment, as of May 20th. The best pay-per-view all year. Frank, you have no idea how great it was. I missed
it, but I'm actually watching it on mute right now, the replay. So
let me tell you something. From match 1, which was hard to top, all the way to the main event. Think about this. A show with 2 women's matches and a guy that usually does squashes from top to bottom was great.
Yeah, listen, like I said, right now they have a great crop of talent.
I mean, what boggles my mind, Frank, is that I watched this show without fast-forwarding, rewinding, nothing. I loved every bit of it, and I had fun. Why is it that when I watch the developmental show, the so-called developmental show, I have the time of my life, and when I watch the main show, I want to throw up?
Because right now, we're seeing the next generation of stars, 2 stars. NXT has the next generation of stars. These guys are going to dominate for the next 5 to 10 years. All the top guys in NXT.
Can it be said that there is possibly a golden age on the rise?
Yes, possibly.
Oh, Frank, let me tell you something. This business needs a shot in the arm in the worst way. I mean, let's start from the beginning, and then we'll get to Payback and the rest. Because I'll be honest, ladies and gentlemen, I did not watch Payback. I had better things to do. I refused to miss this show because I knew it was going to be a good show. I had no clue about Smojo. I had no clue. And I could tell you the crowd had no clue. But the second that the music drummed up, they immediately went nuts. And what I'm happy about more than anything is that they're letting him be Samoa Joe. Like, not some fucked up name or some stupid shit. And when I see that, it shows me somebody in that company has a brain. Somebody in that company has a brain. You want to know what else is proof positive of that, Frank? Who's Kevin Owens feuding with? Sami Zayn. Who did he feud with on the Independents? Same guy. It clearly shows me somebody in that company pays attention.
Yeah, of course they do. They pay attention. They pay attention to every fine detail. Don't be fooled.
What boggles my mind is that the developmental show, and I explained this on 2 different wrestling pages tonight. The reason I love NXT, the reason I adore NXT, I absolutely love the brand. I love the brand. Anytime I have extra money, I get myself an NXT shirt because I want to support the brand. If the Samoa Joe t-shirt was in my size, XL, I would be getting it right fucking now. But that's the one size that they're not selling it in right now, and it's driving me bonkers. They're selling the Samoa Joe shirts at the NXT show, and they're selling like hotcakes. It clearly shows me the fans know who this guy is. The company knows who this guy is. So that's why, and I think that both of us, Frank, it depends on if you agree with me or not. Anyone that says independent wrestling doesn't mean anything is out of their fucking minds.
No, all the stars come from the independents.
Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Kenta, Prince Devitt, Kevin Steen, El Generico, Samoa Joe. They're all independent wrestlers. Cesaro.
Yeah, well, that was my point from earlier in the day why I said let's not proclaim Triple H this great genius and NXT is the winning formula. It's the stars. I told you time and time again. Nothing beats true star power. Nothing beats true.
But it is Triple H. It is Triple H. As much as I really don't like the guy because the reason I don't like Triple H is because I feel he held a lot of guys down in his day. I felt he followed Shawn Michaels' example of stepping on people, stepping on the wrong guys, and following Vince McMahon's ideology of the look is what's most important. But then you look at the guys that he's been signing to NXT, none of them fit the regular 8x10 mold. The only one that fits the mold down in NXT is Baron Corbin.
Well, I mean, there is nobody out there. You can't just find a wrestler who has a body but look that is a good wrestler, you know? It takes more than the muscles to be a good wrestler.
No. Tell that.
And all these guys he's signing, it's not like he discovered them. It's these guys were the hottest acts wherever they were. So he just, all Triple H did was assign the obvious.
Well, you want to know what? I tip my hat to the guy because he's doing something that his father-in-law has been failing to do, which is entertain me.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he has. I don't know if how much total freedom Triple H has. I think he pretty much free reign.
He has full autonomy when it comes to NXT.
Yeah, right. But I mean, but look, come on, who did he sign that was like? I don't want to tell you this negative, you know. It's. But I mean, who did he sign that was like never before?
No, I don't think that the directive. No, I don't think that the directive is that Triple H is trying to make a new star. All these guys are already stars. What I think he's doing is similar to what Vince did back in the 80s, which is gather all the best talent around the world and bring them under one roof.
Right. Well, I mean, there is no way to
because let's also.
Big leagues. I mean, the only thing close is TNA, and you know. They don't have a pot to piss in, you know, with money, bring them on, the same thing.
Which Destination America just canceled them. I don't know if you heard that.
Listen, that should have been done 3 years ago. It's probably because Dixie Carter and her family, you know, pumped some money.
Here's to the demise of TNA. I knew it was going to happen eventually. I stopped watching them for a reason.
Yeah, I want to get into them.
Yeah, because then you'll hear, because ladies and gentlemen, you think my rants about John Cena and the misuse of Daniel Bryan is bad? You should hear Frank's rants on TNA. They're freaking hysterical.
Oh, it's. I mean, come on. I like I said, I gave them chance after chance from 2009, 2010, and it was just
my end point with them, Frank, was when they let Jeff Hardy show up high. After that, I said, "Fuck this company." But let's not get into the garbage. Let's get into good shit. The show started with Finn Balor against Tyler Breeze because Hideo Itami suffered a torn rotator cuff. He'll be out for a while. We wish Hideo all the best. And Finn Balor is the number one contender for the NXT Championship again. And tonight the Demon showed up. He had the body paint on, and he looked like an absolute beast. Tyler Breeze, say what you want about his gimmick, fucking guy backs it up in the ring. It was a good match. I enjoyed it. Jesus Christ, I'm so freaking excited. I'm forgetting things. I'm not going to do the matches in order. I'm just going to go as I remember them.
Women's matches?
Both women's matches were great. The tag match and then the title match with Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch, who's my favorite diva. My favorite woman wrestler right now is Becky Lynch. The woman is an absolute savage. She uses submission holds, suplexes. She is a woman's wrestler. And Sasha Banks is one of my favorites, too. Because this woman, as a heel, is just such a bitch. But she backs it up. She's not the regular, chicken shit heel. She fights her battles head on, but she's a despicable villain. And she retained her title tonight via submission. Name another woman that regularly does submission on WWE television that actually is friggin' good, other than Charlotte.
Submission, I don't think they know how to spell it.
I'm sorry?
I don't think they can even spell it.
It was great. Baron Corbin had a match with Rhino. I haven't jumped on the hate bandwagon with Baron Corbin. I understand he has a limited moveset, but I also recognize that the guy's green. he has to develop. I like him. I like the way he looks, and I think that with more work, he could be something. I like the lone wolf. I dig him. I dig the big guy. I think that he's. I think he could be something. Rhino did his job. He put over the young talent. John Cena better follow suit at Elimination Chamber. Yes, I had to throw that in. Enzo Amore and Big Cass failed to win the NXT tag titles tonight in what was a very entertaining match. Those two remind me so much of the New Age Outlaws. Shout out to Joe Valenti for giving me that little tip there, because I was thinking it and then he said it. I was talking to him earlier tonight. Good guy, Joe. The whole show was just fun, man. I mean, it was fun. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were just. I mean, what else could I say about those two? They're phenomenal talents. They're amazing. I don't understand how anyone could say different, because the fact of the matter is, Sami Zayn, whether he's working hard or not, is irrelevant. The guy came out there and he proved he is something. Kevin Owens, let me tell you something. An absolute animal. An absolute animal, Frank. And
he's a wrecking machine.
A wrecking machine. I think that this guy, my dream match for him is with Brock Lesnar. Because I think Brock Lesnar would be impressed by the viciousness of Kevin Owens. Yes, I went there. The match ended in a no contest because Sami Zayn was, quote, hurt. And, the referee, security, William Regal came down to try to restrain Kevin Owens because he wouldn't stop. And then he got rid of William Regal, knocked him out. And then he went to take a chair to Sami Zayn. And then that Godzilla music kicked in, and I felt the hair on the back of my neck stand up, Frank. When I saw Samoa Joe get in Kevin Owens' face, I stood there with my mouth wide open like this.
Yeah, I mean, here's a guy who was pretty much lost in the shuffle for the last 3 years.
What a waste. And he looked in great condition. Those pictures that ended up on the internet a couple days ago of him, he looked great. And tonight, he looked phenomenal. And let me tell you something. If the directive is that he is staying, and this isn't, just a one-time deal, look at the next calendar year. Fast forward a year from now. Maybe a little less, because I'm excited for WrestleMania 32. It's gonna be great, man. All these NXT guys, they're gonna get called up. I then again, at the same time, I don't want them to get called up because I don't want them to get fucked over on Raw, because that's the shit show and NXT is the real show, in my opinion. And
that's one reason why I kind of abstained from NXT, because I want to see them fresh in WWE. I don't want to see.
Yeah, but you're missing out, Frank. I'm telling you.
I'll go back and watch them eventually. But,
the shows that, and I want to make sure anyone that's watching our program right now on YouTube, if you haven't watched NXT, you're missing out. As much as, I really don't like the fact that WWE gets money from anyone in this house of the last name Faluca. I canceled my subscription after the Royal Rumble. And my father, who got mad at me, saying, hey, what if other people in this house want to watch this shit? Fine, do whatever you want. Thanks to him, I could watch this stuff and I don't have to pay for it. Because I refuse to give them my money. Because I know that they're not going to use the guys I want, right? Look at Dean Ambrose. He's not winning the belt anytime soon. Dolph Ziggler's a glorified jobber. Ryback, they ain't got a fucking clue what to do with him. Maybe...
He sucks. I have not been impressed with him since day one. He's got nothing for me.
Well, I dig him, but you can't really blame him for the simple fact that, look, he came back. It was clear as crystal he should have been feuding with Rusev going into WrestleMania, and they didn't do it. They stuck Ryback in all the guys that the fans were into. They stuck them in multi-man matches.
Yeah, but because he's very limited, James. When he's booked as a bulldozer in 3-minute matches, that's when he shines. But sooner or later, you have to go 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and it's.
With certain people, he can have good matches, Frank. But I don't want to get off.
Well, that's why I said earlier before. It takes more than big muscles to be a good wrestler.
Absolutely. But yeah, the show cut to black with Kevin Owens backing off and Samoa Joe just giving him that intense stare that only Joe could. It was amazing.
So Kevin Owens retains the title, the NXT title, right?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Give me 2 minutes. Good.
All right. But yeah, tonight from top to bottom was an incredible show. I can't begin to describe to you. I mean, and I get a bad rap for being very negative. I get a bad rap for, you're never happy, you always complain, this, that, the other thing. That's not true. Because I can tell you right now, I just finished watching this show from top to bottom. This many complaints. 0. I absolutely loved it. Just like I loved the last NXT special. Just like I love every episode of NXT. There is a reason that I enjoy NXT and I despise Monday Night Raw. And I'll explain why. NXT does the things that Monday Night Raw should be doing, but doesn't. NXT listens to their audience. The people that the crowd are into, they're featured properly. They treat their stars right. The storylines aren't started and stopped. The characters are developed over time. They're not forced. And you get a sense that it is a pro wrestling show. Monday Night Raw is the complete antithesis.
It's an entertainment show.
I wouldn't even say it's how could you call it entertainment when the shit is not entertaining? That's the whole point.
It's a TV show under the guise of a wrestling show.
It's an entertainment wrestling show under the guise of a man who's out of touch. That's what it is. Because look at Monday Night Raw. It's the exact opposite of NXT. They don't listen to their fans. Only 1 or 2 guys is featured prominently. The people that the crowd want to be featured, they could care less. The brand could care less. The storylines are started and stopped, and there's no character development. It's the complete opposite of NXT, and that's why I have more joy watching NXT than I do Raw. Where if I didn't have to do these reviews, Frank, I wouldn't even watch Raw. I would just watch NXT.
Character development. They can't even develop a story. It's like they start a storyline 1 week and then.
I mean, if I knew you'd be okay with it, Frank, I would just stick to pay-per-views and NXT and not even watch Raw because I would be less aggravated. Because I'm telling you. And this is where I could piggyback into something else. Every single time that I have to watch Raw and I have to listen to the crowd sing John Cena sucks and I know nothing's going to come of it, it pisses me off. And the reason it pisses me off is for the simple fact that it's insulting to the viewer's intelligence. Because back in the day when a guy was booed, you would turn him heel. Right or wrong?
Oh, yeah, we've gone over this millions of times.
But I just don't understand what makes him immune to it. And now I want to get into something else. I heard a rumor today, and it was plastered right on my page from a friend of mine, and it's making me sick to my stomach, that John Cena is lobbying for a match with The Undertaker at WrestleMania 32.
Oh, he wants to retire The Undertaker? Is that what he wants to do?
It doesn't say anything about, him wanting to retire Taker, but
well, it's going to be Taker's last match, so
that's the whole point. Okay, now I have to go off, Frank, because now Jimmy's going into full Jimmy Mania mode. Okay. I don't care what John Cena wants. I care about what I want, which is The Undertaker and Sting. The Undertaker and Sting makes more sense than any other storyline going on in WWE right now. Why? Because it is a match fans have wanted to see for over 20 years. It is a match I've wanted to see since I'm 7. Now, what story does Undertaker versus John Cena really have with the streak no longer intact, Frank? Does it have one?
Oh, it's probably because he hasn't wrestled him at WrestleMania and whatever. He does not go over the Undertaker at WrestleMania. Not in the Undertaker's last match.
I do not want to see the Undertaker's last act to be getting an attitude adjustment from this fucking retard.
That's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. The Undertaker is going to go out winning. I don't care who it is.
Honestly, I would be able to accept the Undertaker losing to Sting. I would be able to accept that because it's Sting. But how? What I don't understand, Frank, and I would love for someone to explain it to me. How do you have the Undertaker and Sting under the same umbrella and you don't do the match?
Unless if Undertaker, the only way Cena could finagle his way into that match is if they do a Sting Undertaker match at SummerSlam or at Royal Rumble. But
as long as I get the Undertaker and listen, honestly, I'm being very selfish here. I want to see the Undertaker and Sting match at WrestleMania 32. That is the most logical place to do it. To do it anywhere else would be retarded. Unless they're going to do it at a Survivor Series to try to bump up that pay-per-view again, because they really have done a piss-poor job of doing that. But I don't want to see The Undertaker lose to John Cena. I'm going to make sure that this is clear. I don't care how much money he makes this company. He should be making them more. We discussed this many times about the merchandise, Frank. You know, people like to bring up the merchandise numbers. Shouldn't he be making more money off the merch?
Of course. He should be selling twice as more.
Why isn't he?
Because he sucks and he's not. Half the people hate him. If not 60% of the people hate him.
I don't want to see The Undertaker's last rite of passage to have to take a fucking loss to John Cena. Because, let's be very honest here. All of you, take the business bullshit out of your eyes. The Undertaker is a legend among legends. John Cena doesn't belong to be mentioned in the same breath as The Undertaker because The Undertaker's here and Cena's here. The Undertaker has the respect of all of his peers and all of the fans. John Cena has the respect of toddlers, number one, and he has the respect of people who are only dollars and cents and can't see the bigger picture. In that, if this was any other era where the WWE had to listen to their fans, does he remain the same character he is right now, Frank?
No.
Okay, I rest my case, and now I don't want to talk about Cena anymore. Undertaker has to wrestle Sting before his career ends. That is a must. Right? What do you say to that, Frank?
I don't know if it's a must. It definitely should be, but what is a must is Undertaker has to win his last match at WrestleMania.
Well, my only thing is, if it's a match with anyone other than Sting, then yes, he must win. But
it's doing the right thing. I don't care who wrestles him. It's doing the right thing. You make the dead man go out a winner and get his moment alone in the ring.
I will be very pissed. I will be royally pissed if we don't get the Undertaker Sting match, because that is a match that the story writes itself.
It's funny.
I'm sorry?
It's funny.
Yes, it is a major attraction. The Undertaker versus John Cena, to me, is not the same type of match. The Undertaker versus Sting is a dream match. We have never seen it. The Undertaker has wrestled John Cena before, and no one gave a fuck.
Well, this is what's got to happen. Sting has to go over Triple H before he goes against the Undertaker. And that's got to happen. You can't have Sting lose 2 in a row
That's why I think Sting should beat The Undertaker.
Oh.
I wouldn't mind it. As long as it's those two in the ring, I don't care who wins. I'm so sick and tired of being put in these situations, Frank, where I care about, okay, this guy has to win. Like tonight, every single match I watched, I didn't care who won. There were two matches that I didn't get the outcome I wanted, but guess what? I didn't care because I enjoyed what I saw. I wanted to see... Exactly. I wanted to see Becky Lynch win the Divas Championship on NXT. She didn't win. She tapped out, and guess what? Am I upset about it? No. Finn Balor was my number one guy tonight. I wanted him to win. He won. Great for me. If he would have lost, would I have lost sleep over it? No. Samoa Joe coming out, I'm riding that fucking high because, I mean, you get surprises and great matches on NXT all the time. Isn't that what Raw used to be?
Oh, of course. Raw used to be can't miss.
Exactly.
And at 11:20, you couldn't wait to see what was going to happen.
And guess what? It's 11.
Smackdown, or wait for the next week. You couldn't wait to see what was going to happen.
And Frank, what you just said, it is now 11:49 p.m. Wednesday night. I already cannot wait to get to next week's show. I already can't fucking wait to get to the next show.
Raw would end in I guess what you call a cliffhanger, and you just couldn't wait to see what was going to happen.
No, I can't wait. I want to see what the hell's going to happen. It's just, I can't wait to see what the hell. I can't wait to see what the hell they're gonna fucking do, because it's NXT. I never thought I would, and tonight my friend Christian was telling me NXT and WWE are the same thing. No, they're not. They are not the same thing. They're part of the same company, yes, but they're not the same thing. NXT is a pro wrestling show. Raw and SmackDown are bad infomercials. Raw so more than SmackDown. And I'm telling you, we could go through the whole list of things that is wrong with Monday Night Raw, Frank, but we'd be here till next fucking Christmas. But no, the NXT tonight was incredible. And I encourage you, when on your leisure, watch it with the sound on. Because that moment when Samoa Joe comes out, you're coming out of your seat. It's that kind of moment. And the
as a second company in the wrestling world, they'll continue to do good, because then they'll always attract the next big indie stars.
I mean, the only other name I would love to see, the only other two names I would love to see WWE get their hands on, but they wouldn't know what to do with them, is Okada and what's the name of the Intercontinental Champion over in Japan?
I don't know.
Jesus Christ, what is his name again? Sasaki, I think his name is. Okada and Sasaki. I think I seen one or two matches with them. Holy shit, Frank. Holy shit. It makes me embarrassed to be a WWE fan with the way their matches just flow.
Well, now the TNA is in a close shop pretty soon. What about signing guys like Bobby Roode?
Bobby Roode's a guy that I would have loved to have seen in WWE. He was actually he was probably my favorite in TNA for a while, aside from Samoa Joe.
Yeah, I don't know his contract situation, but his next stop should be
to end this segment, Frank, because then we'll move on to the next one. I want to show our audience, and when you view this on YouTube later, you could see for yourself. I have been a fan of Samoa Joe for a long time. I got his autograph right here. Very proud to have Samoa Joe's autograph. He is one of those guys that, for a big man, he could fucking move. My dad saw TNA before I did, and he was telling me, James, you got to see this fucking match with Samoa Joe and fucking Kurt Angle. I used to have a stack of TNA DVDs.
You could go before that. You could go
to the matches with AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels.
I'm saying you could go with Samoa Joe versus CM Punk.
Yes, I actually have that DVD. The next time you come over, Frank, we got to watch it. It has all three of their matches. Holy shit.
Those are classics.
They are classics. And, ladies and gentlemen, Frank and I are going to end this segment, and we will be back next with WWE Payback and where do they go from here.